Hey, what's up guys, Soldier Knows Best here, and today is going to be a good day because I was able to get an early sneak peek at the new Samsung Galaxy S20 lineup, and well, let's just say that Samsung is betting that these phones will get your attention with their top of the line specs and cameras that are bringing the heat this year. So with that being said, let's see what these phones are all about. Alright, so the S20 has three different versions this year, the S20, the S20 Plus, and the S20 Ultra. And let's break down these phones together piece by piece to see how they differ. So first, the displays, and all three are AMOLED Infinity O displays, and you have 6.2 inches on the S20, and you have 6.7 on the S20 Plus, and you have a slap your mama big 6.9 inch display on the Ultra. And they all have a single hole punch front facing camera, and the most significant new display feature is that they all can run at a refresh rate of 120 Hertz. And so this high refresh rate makes things look smoother and really amplifies everything from scrolling through web pages and also to gaming. And speaking of gaming, the display has a 240 Hertz touch sampling rate. And what this means is that the phone will be able to recognize your touches on the screen faster. So when you're playing something like Fortnite or Call of Duty, this can really help improve your performance because it's able to recognize your touches, and hopefully you can take that other person out, unless you're playing against me, of course, and in that case you're already done. But like always, Samsung phones have really great screens that look amazing, but there is one slight drawback to the displays, and that's the fact that when I was on the S20 Ultra, I saw that when I did bump it up to the highest resolution, it would not run at 120 Hertz. So by default, it would go back to 60 Hertz. So unfortunately, we don't have any type of 90 Hertz middle ground there. And so if you're trying to play at the highest resolution, you're going to be missing that feature. But at that point, if you're doing that, you're going to be running the risk of having your battery life really be cut drastically in half. So I understand kind of why they did that, but I still would like to see something above 60 Hertz. But all right, let's talk about the design real quick. So the S20 and the S20 Plus both come in cosmic gray and cloud blue, but the S20 has the exclusive cloud pink color, and the Plus has cosmic black as its third color. And for the Ultra, it just comes in cosmic gray and cosmic black. Now for the overall sizes of these phones, including like the height and just the width of these phones, the S10 and the S10 Plus are about what the average smartphone is these days, but the S20 Ultra is packing a little extra meat this year, and it's a thicker phone, especially when you compare it to the S10 Plus. And when I was holding them side by side here, I definitely felt that difference, and you can see it as well. But the good thing is that the S20 Plus really isn't that wide, so you're still able to kind of hold it, and it's just going to be a little bit of a taller phone, of course, with that bigger screen. Now, Samsung did have a good reason to make their phone bigger this year, and that's due to the fact that they boosted the internals of these phones as far as the specs. And so let's talk about that. So all three phones will come with at least 128 gigabytes of internal storage, with the S10 Plus and the Ultra having 512 gigabyte options. And the good news is that all three will have a micro SD card slot, giving you the flexibility to be able to boost your storage up to an additional 1 terabyte with a 1 terabyte micro SD card. And so all three phones will have 12 gigabytes of RAM, but the Ultra does have a 16 gigabyte version. And for the all-important battery sizes, you have a 4,000 milliamp battery inside the S20, you have 4,500 inside of the Plus, and a substantial 5,000 milliamp battery inside of the Ultra. That's pretty big. And wireless power share is going to be back this year for all three phones, so you can place another phone that supports wireless charging on the back of one of your S20s, and your phone will start to charge that one. And then also too, each phone would come with a 25-watt charger inside of the box, so you can do fast charging, but the Ultra can support a 45-watt charger, but that's going to be sold separately. Okay, so I was going to wait a little bit longer to talk about the cameras because there's a lot about these phones to talk about, but I just can't wait. So Samsung is really bringing the pain this year, and let's first talk about the S20 and the S20 Plus's cameras. So they both have the same three main rear-facing cameras and also the same front-facing camera, and I'm throwing up the specs right here so you can see where they're similar, but the S20 Plus has an extra time of flight camera on the back, and so this is going to be a depth camera that will help make your live focus, or really your portrait mode pictures, look better. And then also both phones do have Samsung Space Zoom technology that gets you super resolution zoom up to 30 times. And so if I was to stop right here, I think most people would see that these camera specs are solid, but with the S20 Ultra is where things really start to heat up. So this phone has a quad camera setup like the S20 Plus, but the megapixel count on the wide angle camera is bumped all the way up to 108 megapixels, and the Ultra's telephoto camera only goes up to 48 megapixels instead of the 64 that's on the S20 S20 Plus, but they make up for it with their 100 times space zoom. Yes, 100 times. And so you can see from this example with my boy John Rettinger here, you can get close. I mean, you can get really close on somebody's eye, or if you're very far away from an event that's happening or trying to capture one of your kids playing a sport, it allows you to get up close and personal. And kind of the magic behind this is that the lens is actually folded over and is trying to refract all of that light and information that is taken to be able to allow you to get this close. But I think that most of the time I'm not going to want to do 100 times because it still looks like you're zoomed in. I think the sweet spot is going to be between 10 to maybe like 50 or 60, where the quality of your photo is still going to be really good and it's not going to necessarily look like you zoomed in. So it's going to be a great photo to still share, like for me, on social media. But with the combination of this zoom and the higher megapixel counts on these cameras, you're going to have a lot of flexibility to get up and close to your subject, but then also to take a photo and really be able to zoom in and crop without losing a lot of detail. So yeah, I'm looking forward to how these cameras really perform once I'm able to get this phone in hand and really go give it a really good test. But hold up, I'm not done yet talking about the cameras, because all three phones can record video up to 8K. Yep, I said it, 8K. And so this will be running at 24 frames per second. And so I wasn't able to take the video that I took with the phone and take it out of that room and share it with you here today, but I can tell you that the video does look good. We'll see how everything works out in the final units, but I will say that it is definitely benefited by the stabilization, and Samsung is saying that it's going to be supported with the super steady stabilization that they have for the video. And so you can see from this is what I took with the, I think the Galaxy Note 10 last year, and you can see the really big difference that you have. And this is going to be important when you're recording in 8K, and these S20s will be able to handle editing your 8K footage on the phones. And then also too, if you do have a recent Samsung QLED 8K TV, you will be able to either do a tap to share feature or just be able to do 8K streaming with these devices. And in regards to the camera software on these phones, you now have the new single take mode. So with one button press, the phone will take a combination of photos and videos at the same time. And so this includes photos and videos from the ultra wide camera, and also live focus pictures, and also some photos and videos with filters on them and things like that. And Samsung recommends that you move around your subject to get a variety of different shots. And then when it's finished, you just basically have your pick at which ones that you actually want to use. And the last major feature on these phones is going to be the fact that every S20 will have 5G that supports sub-6. And if you go with the S20 Plus or the Ultra, they will support 5G in both sub-6 and millimeter wave. And so basically sub-6 and millimeter wave are just two different ways that cell phone carriers choose to deliver 5G. So sub-6 is a wider coverage area with really good speeds, and millimeter wave is going to be a smaller coverage area, but with faster speeds. And so you can check out my friend The Unlocker's video on 5G, and I'll leave that link down below so you can get a more detailed explanation about how 5G works. And before this launch, Google teased that they would be working with Samsung on this S20 lineup. And what they are doing is centered around 5G as well. And so now with Google Duo, you can now do video calls in full HD. So it's going to be higher quality on 5G. And Samsung is also working with YouTube to allow you to upload the 8K video that you take on these phones directly to YouTube. Okay, so look, there's a lot going on with these phones, but the main theme here is premium, and Samsung is giving you a premium experience. If you want the latest features, you want the highest end specs, at least for right now, these S20s are going to be bringing that to you, but be prepared to pay for that. Okay, so these phones are going to be starting at $1,000 for the S20, $1,200 for the S20 Plus, and then $1,400 for the S20 Ultra. But again, all of these phones do have 5G, a pretty good amount of storage, a lot of RAM, and also great displays. So you're getting a lot for this price point, but whether or not you want to pay for that, that's going to be up to you. But the good thing is that Samsung does offer other phones that are really capable, like the Note 10 Lite and other phones like that are lower price points, but still give you a lot of good features. But for me, being a techie and somebody who likes to have a lot of the latest and greatest, I'm excited for these phones. So definitely stay tuned to this channel once I finally get my hands on some review units. So make sure you do subscribe and hit that notification bell, and you'll be notified when I start uploading that content and all of my other content that I do on this channel. But I do want to hear your thoughts about these phones, so leave your comment down below and make sure you follow me on social media. Those will be linked down below in the description as well. But like always, I do want to thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you later. Peace.